Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from down under, and today we're going to be talking about Ironsight and what happened to this game. Ironsight was supposed to be the first person shooter, the sweep away Black Squad in combat arms. It was supposed to be the next best thing. But what happened over the last couple of months? Absolutely nothing. The game has just gone and dropped off heavily. No updates. No communication from the developers, no hype, no community realistically. The game has just gone and fallen off, and arguably it is dying at a very, very rapid rate. And today I just wanted to go and dissect why, because it's a bit of a shame. The core gameplay of Ironsight is absolutely fantastic. The map's great, the mode's great, the weapon balance, a bit shaky at times, but overall quite good. So the game itself is great, but the structure around it is crumbling, and I want to go and dissect why. The core, fundamental reason why Ironsight is dying is due to a lack of updates, in particular the netcode and servers. There was supposed to be a netcode change from TCP to UDP, and there was supposed to be a full rework of the network performance as a whole that was supposed to happen a couple months ago. It didn't happen. They tried it out for like one day, it didn't work, the servers were crashing like mad, they pulled it, they put back the old netcode, and what happened? Zero communication from the developers, zero updates about what is actually happening to realistically the biggest issue with this game. The gameplay is fine, but the network performance is very, very poor. Not only in the netcode, but also in the servers. We're hopefully supposed to be getting Asian servers, but nothing's been said. The developers have just swept any potential news just under the rug, or maybe there's just no news at all. And it's very, very frustrating from, a player that's played from the very start, where you just get strung along so many months on end, where you think there's going to be a good update that's going to go and really fix the core issues, and then absolutely nothing happens. So we've got this massive issue with Ironsight. The network performance is very, very poor. It needs to be optimized. It needs to be improved. So what do we go and get in the meantime? Minor content updates of skins and charms and shit like that. Now, I know there's different teams for, network performance and art and all that, but it is a slap in the face when the community is asking for something to be done, and then we go and get something that nobody is asking for. I believe in the latest minor content patch, in the patch notes, it went and said the gold Bowie knife that the community has been awaiting or something like that, which is just, again, another slap in the face, and it's just obvious that the publisher, Area Games, has realistically no idea why people are so frustrated, and they're just turning a blind eye. They're doing a Nexon all over again, because this is what Nexon would do. They'll just go and release shit that people didn't want, instead of going focusing on the core issues of combat arms. So I'm getting a little bit of deja vu here. And overall, people just get tired when there is no progress to the game. There's no interest on YouTube. I'm not making any videos because nobody's gonna go and watch the videos, and it is obvious that the player base is thinning out. There's no Steam launch in sight, minimal communication from the devs, and on top of that, bugs not only with the game itself when you can't even join the servers, like you can't even matchmake properly. I tried to go and hop on just before. I couldn't even join a game, it just wouldn't go and let me. Something with the game just wouldn't let me join, and it's very, very frustrating. But not only that, also because supposedly installing the game is a very, very big issue. I go and check my YouTube comments quite regularly, and in my how to install Ironsight video, people commenting how to go and install this game because I'm getting this bug, this type of bug, and I've got no idea. I checked the subreddit, people getting bugs as well, and these have been around for quite a long time, these bugs, and seemingly there is no response from the developers, no response from the publisher. It's just been fallen on deaf ears. It simply is like, la 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 la, you guys just try to work it out and we'll just do our own thing, and that is very, very frustrating indeed. The next thing I want to go and talk about is weapon balance, and this links perfectly to the lack of communication and the lack of understanding by the developers and the publishers. when you go and look at the weapons in Ironsight, it's overall not too bad. Each weapon has its, core characteristics where it can be used in certain scenarios, but then you've got a few weapons that are just better than the rest. And the one shining example of that is the AR-57. It's a god tier gun. Lots of bullets, great damage, great fire rate, great hit spread. Overall, the gun is amazing and it's the best SMG, arguably the best gun in the game. Now, for the longest time, people have been saying, we need a nerf to the AR-57. It is way too strong because why go and use any other submachine gun in the game when the AR-57 is the true king of the SMG category? So what did we go and get? We got a headshot multiplier nerf of such a minuscule amount, and overall it made no difference. And then people said again, can we go and get an AR-57 nerf? And we have still not got an AR-57 nerf. It seems like the developers or the publishers or whoever have just, all our complaints have just fallen on deaf ears. And the fix for this gun is reasonably, simple. Go and just bring back the fire rate a little bit, or bring back the ammo count a little bit, or bring back the damage a little bit. Just nerf it a tiny bit. Just change up the gun so you have to make a bit more of a strategic decision. Maybe go and nerf the range a little bit more as well, the portability or something. But nothing has happened. Zip has happened for, this is a fundamental issue from when the game first came out. So we're talking 7-8 months at this point. It's frustrating. It is so frustrating. I'm an AR-57 user, but I want to use other SMGs as well. But when I'm getting outgunned by the AR-57, I just go and swap back. And it's the whole thing with communication again. Area games, they're just not communicating, and this is just a core example. You then go and look at the sniper rifle nerfs, and to be fair, they were warranted, but sniping isn't fun anymore. They took the fun out of sniping. They made it usable, but not very fun to go in quickscope. And I know it's for balance and all of that, but if your game isn't fun to go and play, especially for the sniping community, which is traditionally a very big part of a Call of Duty, fan base, and this game is arguably Call of Duty-like in every way, shape, or form, when you go and nerf sniping, it's just a slap in the face. And again, nothing has been touched after that nerf. No tweaks, no nothing, and yes, gameplay is in an okay spot, but it's still not very fun to go and snipe. It's very inconsistent, quick scoping just feels weird, and overall, nothing has been done. Again, complaints being, just going straight onto deaf ears. The last thing I want to go and talk about is the gameplay and the content. Now, I said before that the gameplay is rock solid, but the thing is, it gets quite samey after a while. If you're using the AR-57 quite regularly and just rushing, the gameplay, it's still exhilarating and fun and chaotic, but it gets a little bit samey, so sometimes you want to go and mix it up. Now, the way most people go and do this is they play different maps, different modes, and different weapons. But after a while, the player base is just asking for something new to go and play with. A new gun, a new map, a new mode, anything to go and just give them a little something to play with. And Ironsight has not gone and given their player base realistically anything. They've got skins, but skins don't mean anything to the general user that doesn't put any money into the game. They want something new, because if you keep playing the same maps again and again, the same modes again and again, it gets boring. It really does, and especially in the case of Ironsight, because despite the gameplay being quite good, it gets repetitive. And when you go and do the same thing again and again, despite it being quite fun, it gets boring. And you have a look at Battle Royale games, they're all the rage. Fortnite is booming for a reason, because every time you go and drop in, you're getting a different experience. Every time you go and hop into an Ironsight game, you're not getting a different experience, you're getting a somewhat similar experience, but just a little bit of a twist. And after a while, when you play with the same guns and the same modes and the same maps, it gets boring. And we have got no new content, no performance fixes, and put that together with a lack of communication, it seems like development is just dead. And when development is dead, people are thinking, okay, people are leaving the game because there's no updates. It very much corresponds with each other. And when people think that a game is dying, well, people want to go and play the game that is living. And at this point, when it comes to free-to-play first-person shooters, you look at Black Squad as the shining star. It has a very solid player base, and it is a really good game as well. So what does this all go and funnel down to? A lack of communication. Area Games is not communicating with their community, and people are getting fed up. And we need action. We need some sort of tangible action from the developers that go and say, okay, we care about this game. We want to go and make it the best game it can possibly be. And at this point, I don't see that happening, because there is absolutely no indication that any work is being done on the game that is actually substantial besides skins, and skins are not substantial in any way, shape or form. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary. Tell me in the comment section below what you think about Ironsight and what you think needs to be done to this game in order to go and make it better. But other than that, it's Undercover Dudes all the way from down under, out.